Grand Rising, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If today is your first day with us, we welcome you to the circle. If you have been with us for the last 2 days, welcome, welcome, welcome back. And I'm really excited. Thank you all so much for being here, for joining us for these 3 days, this reset. It has been very beautiful. And so today we are coming to a conclusion for the day. And we are going to be exploring fire. So, for those who are new in the space, my name is Renee Ifagbaye Eshubola Ayalagbeg Besina Kimberly Smith. I am the daughter of Maureen and Dr. Richard Smith and Stephen Tyson. I am the granddaughter of Violet Chevalier, Jacob Chevalier, of Brodell Anderson, and of Cecil Smith. I am the great granddaughter of Hilda Benoit and Eddie Benoit. Those that I name, those that I may not call, but know that I call them on this day. I thank them for creating pathways for me to be able to do the work that I do. And I pray that the work that I do will create pathways for those who come after. And so we sit in this space. We sit on this day, which is really powerful because it's the day before the solstice, but also we have a new moon. So there's all this energy that is supporting the work that we do, and it's really beautiful. So I'm excited to be here with you all. I'm excited for this day 3 and all of the insights that have been coming. For those who have not been with us, we started with water, and so we started our 3-day rooted reset with the energy of water, the medicine of water. And not only what water brings, how it cleanses, but also it helps us to soften our heart. It helps us to release whatever we've been carrying so that we can be ready for this new season. Yesterday, we talked about and worked with the earth, right? The idea of rooting down, the idea of cleansing, the idea and the significance of plant intelligence and how it can help us to shift energy in our bodies, but also for us to feel more grounded during this time period, especially if we've been feeling scattered and not feeling at our best. So, yesterday was earth, and today we do fire. And I'm really excited to share with you all today. So, we're going to get started. So, just so that we understand why we gather, right, we are getting ready for the longest night and the shortest day. And it's significant because this portal pulls us into winter. It pulls us into the divine feminine. It pulls us into this idea of being. The earth around us is going into hibernation, but hibernation isn't a place of just, non intentional rest. We actually have a lot of intention behind it, right? We have a lot of um, opportunity to begin to cultivate and to curate what we want to happen in the next season. So, this item of rest, this time of rest, is really a curation process, right? It's going into it with intention so that as we're taking our rest, as we're finding moments where we want to be active, it's very intentional. And so, it's really important for us to release anything that has been heavy from the last season so that we have space and capacity to be able to do this incubation process. The other piece is to be rooted in ourselves and in our bodies, understanding what we need, nourishing ourselves during this time, and being able to set clear intentions for what we want to do. The other piece is that there is so much wisdom in winter, right? There's so much wisdom in winter. We've been taught that it's winter and we're not doing anything, and that, but there are very significant uh, things that we can learn from winter, right? That the world slows down, not to not do anything, but to be intentional with what we do. That our bodies sometimes need internal fire just to get us going. I shared yesterday, many folks gave me the feedback that when they heard or we started the meditation, they were like, that's how I feel. I don't feel like doing anything. I don't feel like getting up. I want to sleep all the time. Yep, because that is winter. When you get into alignment with the energy and the frequency that's happening around you, you naturally will go with what the ecosystem is doing. And that's what the ecosystem is doing. The plants are slowing down, the animals are slowing down. We, as humans inside of this ecosystem, we begin to slow down. It doesn't mean that we're not functioning, we're not going to our jobs, we're not dealing with our families, but there is a different energy that we're walking with now versus what we walked with during the summer and what we walked with during the spring and even the fall. These are all different energies. So today we really want to focus on what we need as we step into this season and to do it intentionally. And so today we're going to explore fire. Just a little, let you know a little bit about the practice. Those who may be new in the space today, we pride ourselves specifically in this rooted reset to create simple, accessible rituals, right? The ways that we can reignite ourselves by using the things that we have every day. So, for example, the first day we just did water. We had a glass of water, we had a bowl of water. Yesterday, we actually used more of our third eye. And for those of us who had soil in our homes, that was a visceral opportunity for us to touch the soil and remember this opportunity with that. And then we have plant allies and flower essences that we talk about in each of these sessions that help us to bring intention to our energy. We have an opportunity for journal reflection, and then an opportunity for integration. That it is important that we spend time integrating each time that we're here. And the integration sometimes can be small, it can be an intention. So, our first day when we were dealing with water, it was let's make an intention around drinking water all day and feeling ourselves being hydrated. Yesterday, it was about feeling grounded and feeling rooted. And what did that mean? And what do we need to nourish? And today, we'll talk about the ways in which we continue to kindle the fire. So today's activation, today we look at fire, we look at intention, and we look at activation. What does it mean to have vitality, right? Vitality is the energy of the right relationship, right? When we think about even ourselves in relation, and we talk about this all a lot when we have our sessions, right? That to be with others is to be in relation with, right? And so we relate to ourselves, we relate to the earth, we relate to each other. And in these relationships, we find what's called vitality, right? This energy of being able to be who we are, do what we need to do. And it's like we have all this energy behind us. That's part of what vitality is, right? When we are in the right relationships, specifically right now in our rooted reset, we're working on our relationship to ourselves and the relationship to the earth, that brings us vitality, that gives us the internal energy that we need to kind of to move forward. And so it's not about forcing it, it's not about making it be heavy or something extra that you do, but it's really this opportunity for us to awaken, right? To awaken and to rekindle. And so that's how we want to think about our light and our fire today, that we are awakening and that we are rekindling this energy, especially in the winter when everything around us is sleeping. We still have work to do, right? We still have things that we have to accomplish. We still have seeds that we need to plant. And so, how are we using this time to be able to do that and to do it effectively and to do it with intention and energy that feels aligned? So we talk about fire also as destiny, right? We talk a lot about the idea that anything that we are working to do, if it is in alignment, it comes with great ease, right? And so fire has this idea of forward motion. It is always about transformation. It is always working to bring us into our next phase of existence, right? You burn it down, you start again, it's always there. But it also has this energy that keeps us going, right? It's always, I say, many times people forget that it's a marathon, not a sprint. So we expect things to happen quickly, but many times our transformations require marathon. It requires us to put some energy in and see the long term goal and be able to know that these smaller steps that we are making, it's getting us towards the finish line. So, in this solstice energy, right, when there's this quiet return to light, we still have to find ways to rekindle our own energy, our internal energy, and to understand that this is a part of our destiny, that it's not separate from us to bring forth the things that we need to bring forth in the spring, that it's a part of what has always been a part of us, right? And so these rooted resets have been an opportunity to look at the elements and figure out ways that they can support us being able to move into this next season. So as you know, in every one of our sessions, we have plant allies and flowers and flower essences that help to guide our process. So the two that we're going to talk about today is ginger, which is one of my favorites, and then nasturtium. Ginger, again, yesterday we talked about it's so interesting that we have a flower and we have a root because this is a part of what we were talking about previously. That we need sometimes those roots, right, to really kind of help us ground. But in this particular opportunity, ginger also helps to ignite. It helps with bringing the internal flame up even when it's cold. It helps with our immune system. We'll talk about each of these wonderful plant allies. But these are allies that help to awaken, to warm our bodies and our spirits. So, ginger is considered fire medicine, right? Why? It has medicinal properties. So it warms the body, it increases circulation, it supports a digestion and strengthens our metabolic fire. It reduces stagnation and inflammation in our tissues, and it strengthens vitality during the seasonal shifts and transitions. Right now, my go to tea is ginger and cinnamon. And one, it makes the house smell amazing when you're boiling it. But two, it once, if I feel a little sluggish and I drink that, I feel like I can go. It really is that ginger and that cinnamon combination together that gets you going and helps you to move a little sweeter. All right, because that cinnamon has that undertone. It has the fire, but it has this undertone of sweetness. And so that is one of the go-tos that I go to in this season. Then we also have the spiritual essence of ginger, right? It's ancient. Uh, and part of its ancient wisdom is that it brings courage and inner heat when we feel cold and disconnected, right? It helps us to awaken our courage and brings inner heat when we feel cold or disconnected. It clears energetic coldness and invites warmth back into the heart, and it supports decisive and embodied action without aggression. Again, this idea that our internal flame is beginning to awaken, and through this awakening, we're able to warm our heart. We're able to make decisive action. We're able to awaken our courage. This is coming from the fire medicine, right? This medicine of ginger. Raquel says, that's funny. Uh, that's the blend I've been drinking all week. We are on the same page. So, this idea of movement without force. I tell the story. This is kind of a funny story, not so funny story. But again, I've shared previously, coming from an African and a Caribbean home, my grandmother from Trinidad loved to give us a cleansing every week. When we spent summers and time in Trinidad, like every Saturday morning, there was no time that I can remember that she did not wake us up at 4 o'clock and make us drink a cup of senna and molasses. It was gross, but it did the job, because one of the things that we never had was we didn't have parasites or worms or anything like that, because grandma made sure that we were cleansed. But one of the things that I learned as I got older, right, is that part of what helped us to go to the restroom all the time when we were having those experiences was that my grandmother would not put ginger in ours because that would take away the feeling or the cramping and things like that. And one time I got older and I said, "Oh, let me try it," and I put ginger in mine. And as you know, ginger will also soothe the belly, right? So it soothes the belly, it soothes your internal organs, it makes you feel warm, but sometimes you won't get those feelings like you have to go to the restroom. And so it's kind of a catch 22 when you work with ginger because it has that ability to heighten the blood and heighten uh, even the heat in the body. So if you are experiencing perimenopause or if you're going through menopause, ginger sometimes is not the route for you, and you need something a little bit more cooling, simply because it will literally rise your internal heat. And so I say all that to say is that again, this is medicine that we can learn how to use and how to understand using it, and that you should try it. Right today, I challenge you to get a piece of ginger and to either drink it as a tea, to just chew it. That is something else that I like to do sometimes. Is I will just have a piece of ginger and I will chew it, and many times that is how I may go into a meeting. I may not have time to drink my tea, but I need that fire. I need to be warmed. I need my heart. I need courage. And so I call on this medicine in that way. Raquel says, and now that you're telling the story more aligned and how I made it for my friend and she needed that energy and that ginger in that moment. Yes. I drank some really strong tea and got blood sugar to cool it down. Exactly. See, I'm not the only one that's had these experiences, and I share them just so that we're aware. I believe sharing is caring, right? To not tell someone that, ginger is absolutely amazing and it has this ability to really flush the body out as well. He said, ginger is my uncle's medicine. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Raquel. So think about ginger today. Think about how you can connect with ginger. This is the other thing that is really important for us. These medicines come and are accessible to us. And so, as we shared yesterday, we have a reciprocal relationship with the earth. The earth wants us to use this medicine. And many times, because of our disconnection, we forget. We forget that it is available to us. So you have some time today. I challenge you to get some ginger, to make a ginger tea, to eat a piece of ginger, to see what it does to your body, and to sit with it for a minute, to see what wisdom it has to tell you. So our next plant ally is another one of my favorite friends, nasturtium. So nasturtium is an edible flower. I love to talk about nasturtium as a flower essence, but we're going to also talk about how it helps to rekindle joy, right? Nasturtium, as you know, sorry, let's back up. We shared a little bit yesterday that a part of plant intelligence is being able to know that plants are telling us things that we need to know um, through these different windows of plant perception. Right, some of it is color, some of it is where they grow, some of it is the stories or the folklore that exist around them. So specifically with nasturtium, as you can see, it is usually a red or orange flower, which invokes fire, which invokes passion. It is also an edible flower, so you can put it in your salad. You can put it in your. You can just eat it and use it for culinary purposes, and it has a little bit of spice behind it. Right, it's a little bit of a spicy flower. It's really, really great um, to eat when you have that moment where you want a little bit of spice in your salad. But some of the medicinal properties of nasturtium, it supports immune strength and natural microbial compounds. It encourages circulation and detoxification throughout the body. Again, the idea of fire, right? And what fire brings and how fire cleanses, the same way that ginger cleanses, the same way nasturtium comes through the body. Sammy says that she has been using ginger and turmeric lately. Yes, those are two very, very amazing medicines to use during this season as well. Nasturtium also invigorates the blood and brings energy to the surface. Again, this idea that we are rekindling and bringing the energy up, right? Outside of ourselves, from inside of ourselves, outside of ourselves. And that helps us to kind of walk differently. The spiritual properties of nasturtium is that it rekindles joy, right? It helps us when we feel our life force has been depleted. It is flowers like nasturtium that will help us to rekindle that. It encourages boldness and confidence in self expression. So, as a flower essence, we use nasturtium specifically to help us with thinking outside of the box, right? So, if you have feel like you have been wanting to kind of think differently or create a new mindset or adopt a new mindset, this is one of the flowers to use, because what it does is it helps us to start accessing things that we haven't been thinking about and do so boldly, right? Many times, what keeps us from acting boldly is fear. We don't know what it's going to look like. Well, of course, you don't know what it's going to look like. You're trying something new. And sometimes we have to be okay with taking the risk on ourselves and knowing that if it doesn't work out, we learned a lesson. That's all. And so this is one of those flowers that helps us with this, helps us to make that turn, help us to take that courageous step so that we are actually moving boldly and moving with confidence. It also supports heart-led expression and authentic communication. So our ability to speak from our heart, right? Our heart and our heart brain being our biggest brain, the place where most electromagnetic force comes from, that we are being heart led, right? That we are leading with our heart and communicating with our heart. So, this is the place where nasturtium holds, and it's a beautiful place. It's a wonderful flower to explore. I actually grew them 2 summers ago as one of my pollinators in my garden, and that was so much fun. And so, this idea that vitality can be both power and pleasure, right? You don't have to give up one for the other, but that there can be this beautiful balance of joy, this beautiful balance of being in power, this beautiful balance of igniting your light force, this beautiful balance of allowing ourselves to bloom, even in the winter. I was sharing yesterday that someone was sharing about hibiscus. And so I have hibiscus in my home as one of my home plants. And interestingly enough, both of my hibiscus plants only bloom during the winter. All summer, no flowers. Wintertime, it blooms. And it's one of the things that reminds me that we can bloom in any season. Any season we can bloom. And so these are the flowers that help us to and remind us that we have this internally. It's not an external thing that helps us to bloom. It's internal, right? These are the moments where we get to use this medicine to help us to rekindle our fires, to help us to stay aligned with who we are, to help us to move forward with what we need. So that is nasturtium. Again, those of you who today is your first day with us, I forgot to give the disclaimer. I get really passionate about flowers and plant intelligence. So if you have any questions, feel free to pop it in the chat. Or if you have any experiences with these flowers, feel free to pop it in the chat as well. So again, we're talking about this idea of vitality and what vitality means. I think about as I'm looking at this slide, and I'm also thinking about some of the things that my family taught me. One of the things that they taught me was the things that we respect is respect fire. And I remember being young and asking my dad, "Well, why do you say that?" He said, "Because you can't control fire. Fire has an energy of its own. Once it gets started, or once you start to tend to it, it will continue to burn. And it can burn for as long as you are tending to it." He said, so we respect fire. In Kikongo tradition of the Congo, Baba Dr. Fukiao would talk to us about this concept of imbongi. So the circle that we would gather in for the community to find a resolution for us to support each other, and that there was always a fire keeper. And so the fire keeper, their job was to ensure that the fire continued. That was all they did the entire session, right? They made sure the fire was being tended to. You can watch and see as the energy shifts in the circle, that the fire itself would be shifting, and that the fire would go out when everything was resolved, right? So this idea that we are working with an element that has the ability to keep burning even when things around us is falling apart, even when we don't feel like doing it, that we are now accessing ways to keep and rekindle these fires. So this idea of Shango, this idea of the deity in the Yoruba pantheon that deals with vitality, right? It's this idea of embodied power. That energy lives in the body and it moves through the body and it gets expressed through being authentically who we are. When we're standing firmly in who we are, when we're standing and we are tending to our own fire, we can see the expression of vitality. And that expression of vitality looks like embodied power. The other piece is looking at aligned action, right? That we're not moving any which way, right? That you are moving with purpose. I need to do X. And because I need to do X, I'm going to figure out how to do Y and Z. So that supports what I need to do. We're not moving any kind of way, but that this movement is movement that has clarity, that's not reactive, right? But it's purposeful. I say to people all the time, especially in this season, I use a lot of my herbal remedies and all of these medicines that we talk about as the offense. I don't like to be on the defense. I don't want to catch the cold and then I'm trying to figure out how to not have the cold and make the cold go away. I rather just go ahead and take my elderberry now. I have my turmeric remedy. I take all of, I add the ginger, I add the heat to my body. I'll take a pinch of cayenne pepper. I'll do all of those things because for me, if my body has all that it needs, it's going to be able to move with clarity. It's going to be able to do the fight instead of we're moving from a place of we're already depleted and trying to put the energy back in. Again, this is also one of the lessons of winter. Because one of the things that winter teaches us, and one of the medicines of winter, is that it requires preparation. It requires us to think about what we may be doing for the next 2 to 3 months, right? All of the creatures that go into hibernation, they don't just go into the cave and go to sleep. Before they go to sleep, what do? They gather the food. They make sure they have enough comfort. They make sure that their homes are sealed. There's some preparation that comes with that. And that's a part of the medicine of winter as well, right? We go into the season and we just want to oh, it's winter. Ooh, we got to put on our boots and our coats and we don't like the layers. But what about the things that we can do, right? It's getting dark early. I can make my bedtime real early now and not feel not one shred of guilt. It got dark at 4. I love everybody. My dinner happens at 7, and I can be in bed at 8, and no one is the wiser. And everybody in my house will follow the same thing. Think about the ways that you can use this energy for aligned action. Some people talked about yesterday, thinking about what we need to nourish, right? We need to nourish rest. We need to create a calculated action plan around this. And that is the space and time that winter gives us. The other piece about vitality and the energy of fire and the energy of Shango is this idea of sacred confidence, right? It's this quiet knowing. It's this quiet knowing that we are worthy of the expression of who we are and anything that we manifest. We come with it because we've rekindled that fire inside, that we're not waiting for anybody else to do it. And that's really important to understand. The medicine of winter is understanding that within yourself, everything exists. And because we have this time to slow down, to learn ourselves again, right? This time to give ourselves the nourishment that we need. We have the ability to then show up with this quiet knowing, with this confidence of who we are, with the vitality about our purpose. This is part of the medicine of winter. So, we are going to get ready. And if anyone has anything to share, any of this resonates with you, please feel free to pop it in the chat. We're going to get ready for our ritual. So if you have your candle, you can bring it forth. I would like you to get a piece of paper that you can write on and a pen. You will probably need a lighter, or matches, something that you can light the fire with. So have that ready as well. And I'll give everyone a few minutes and a few seconds. And when you are ready, you're going to type in the chat, I am ready. And then we will get started. Shay. Thank you, Sammy, for sharing. Yes, this time period is very difficult, and so hopefully this gives you some additional tools that you can use to help with your motivation, and also just finding balance. All right, I see that we are ready. Wonderful. All right, we're gonna get started. So we're gonna start this meditation or this particular ritual with fire breathing. I know it's early in the morning. It's like, why? Why, lady? Why? But it's going to be very important, right? Again, these are tools that you can use at any time. So if those of you know how to fire breathe, basically, our breath is one of the ways that we can ignite our own fires. And so what we're going to do is you're going to take a deep breath in, and then you're going to release in very short breaths. And so one of the things I like to do is I will take my left hand and cover it with my right and place that right at my belly button. And so that kind of helps me with that action. If you have some issue with bringing it out, it's also going to ignite you're going to feel it in your head. So just be careful. Those of you who may get a little short breath. So we're going to take and do a couple of fire breaths. We're going to first take a deep breath in, and then we're going to breathe out and we're going to count. I'll count you down. We're going to do 25. Okay? I believe in all of us. Ready? Take a deep breath in and breathe out. That was 25. Okay, I believe in us. We're going to go to 50 this time. Okay? Take a deep breath in. Breathing out 50. Go. Good. And release your hands. Take a deep breath in and reset. how we're feeling. Fire breath always get me. But if you realize it, once you finish fire breathing, you'll feel very awake. And that is the energy that comes with fire breath. So, this is again another tool that you can use when you're feeling lack of motivation, you're feeling a little sluggish. I know I will be in meetings and all of a sudden this yawn will happen and there's nothing I can do about it. So, sometimes I have to play it off and do a little bit of breathing. So, again, these are tools for us to continue to use in this season. So, now that we have awakened ourselves, right? We are now going to uh, continue with our ritual and bring the element of fire. So, the first thing that I want you to do is I want you to light your candle. Great. And so, just so everyone can see, I lit my candle. And so, you're going to light your candle. And I want you to take a moment to just look into the fire. Just look into the fire. No judgment, no preconceived thoughts. Just looking into the fire. What do you see? Where in your heart does it warm? Where in your body does it spark some knowing? Where did it also maybe spark some discomfort? Allow the fire to speak to you for a moment. And as you take a deep breath in, I want you, as you're continuing to look at the fire, to allow for your divine self to bring forth a word that will be your motivation for this season. Just let it come to you as you are looking at the fire. Mm. And once you have your word, I want you to write it on your piece of paper next to your candle. Continue to meditate with that word and looking into the fire, saying the word in your mind's eye 7 times. I want you to keep that word at the top of your third eye as you continue to look into the fire. And take a moment to take a deep breath in and breathe out. And breathe in and breathe out. This fire that you are staring into, allow it to connect to you and connect to your third eye. Feel its energy, feel its warmth, feel its vitality. As you breathe, allow for the fire to embody all of you. From the top of your head, you feel the light all the way to the bottom of your feet. Feel a sense of awakening. Feel a sense of strength. As this golden light moves through every cell and every muscle and every organ in your body, it revitalizes you. It makes you stronger. It infuses you with a sense of power. Your body feels light, energized, and full of life. As you continue to stare into the light, allow it to burn away any tiredness, any heaviness, anything that no longer serves you. Taking a deep breath in and breathe out. Another deep breath in and breathe out. Last time, deep breath in and breathe out. This fire completely energizes you. It makes you and reminds you that you are alive and that you are ready to embrace the world with vigor. As we close this affirmation, we will say, I call back my energy. I call my purpose back. I call my light forward. I call my energy back. I call my purpose back. I call my light forward. And take a deep breath in. Place a hand over your heart. Continue looking into the flame. Again, say your word in your mind's eye 7 times. Take another deep breath in and release. Wow. How are we feeling? You type it in the chat. I also want you, if you are so inclined, to share your word. What was the word that came up for you? Your guiding word for this winter. I will share mine. Mine was expansion. It came very clearly as I looked in the flame. What was yours? Red. Mm-hmm. Red. I see Sion says red. Raquel says aligned. Lisa says elevate. Nicole says I feel unstoppable. My word is resilience. Afia says calm. Mama Frie says my words were joy and the word wisdom kept calling me. Morgan says stability. Sammy says exuberant. I love these words. Ruhia says compassion. Natasha says dream. These are great words. Great, great words. How are we feeling right now? I know Nicole said that she feels energized. Yeah, I feel very clear. There's some clarity that happened even in that ritual. Depending on where you have your candle, you can blow it out now, or you can put it to the side and keep it going until we finish our session. Rahia says that she is aligned. Sion says that energized. Sion says that she is more aligned and prepared. Love it. Yeah, it's definitely fire. Again, this idea that all of these elements give us the ability to shift energy at any time, any place that we're in. Now, of course, we're not going to be able to light a fire, right, if we're in our workplace, but we may be able to drink some ginger, which ignites a fire inside of us, right? How do we use these tools? Or we can do some fire breaths, which also helps with our breathing to ignite our fire. There may be times where we're going through things and we need to release right in that moment. We can drink some water. We can, all of these different things are the ways that we can use this energy. Sammy says that she feels more neutral. Yeah. Because sometimes during the season, we also are feeling all the things, not to mention that there is also a new moon today. So, for those of us who feel all the things, you may be feeling that as well. The spikiness, the change of season, the need to really isolate, all of those things happen when there's a lot of energy moving in the universe. So, these are also opportunities for us to, again, ground and also bring ourselves to balance. Thank you all. Really, really powerful. So, we're going to take a few moments to also sit in our in what's happening with us now and do a little bit of journaling. So, our journal prompt for the next couple of minutes is going to be, where does my vitality want to return? And what supports is its steady growth in this season, right? Thinking about where, again, this idea of the fire being aligned and purposeful action, right? So, where are we going to place some energy during this season? Again, we don't have to have lots of energy, but we do have to figure out where we're going to focus this energy. So, where does my vitality want to return? And what supports its steady growth during this season? So take a few minutes to write and we'll share. And again, in this writing process, we're putting the question down and we're allowing us to free write without judgment and allowing for clarity to enter. So let's do maybe one more minute. And so, if anyone would like to share, please feel free to write something that may have come up for you that seems significant, or just where you want your vitality to return in this season. Mm. So if anyone would like to share, you can pop your comment into the chat. Mama Free shares in free writing. In free writing, it was shared. My vitality should return to my heart. Hmm. Yes. Thank you for sharing, Mama Free. She shares, I was told to put on my best clothes and go out. Yes. See, that confidence is coming already, right? Walking in alignment with who we are and being authentic. Put on our best clothes and go out. Yes, okay. I love it. Anyone else? I see. Raquel just shared, calling my vitality back to my whole self and give into rest and retreat in this season. Yeah, that this is the time for sacred rest. And that, sometimes intentionally we have to say it so that it can really be a part of our daily understanding. I love it. Natasha shares, my vitality wants to go back to being creative. Yes, this is a season that we can incubate our creativity. We can try new things. We can create opportunities for ourselves to learn about our creative ways. Rukia is saying, I'm calling my power back. Ashe. Morgan says, I'm calling back self preservation. So continue. Continue to think about these things throughout the day. Continue to write even after we finish our session. Ways in which we put this into action. Nicole shares, I heard first to my body and its physical health, as well as my creativity, how I create for myself and collaboratively. Lastly, my crown, sovereignty, confidence, and self trust. Ashe. Sammy shares, I had the urge to manifest and balance more, and my vitality will come if I use the same effort I use to switch routes. Yes, yes. This idea that, again, what we're working with in this season, what we're working with in this season is our internal flame, our internal fire. Thank you, Rakia, for that shout out. Yes, it is 5:55 a.m. Ashe, in the space of manifestation that we are calling these things in on a new moon on the eve of the solstice. It will be. It definitely will be. Thank you all so much for sharing. Anyone else? Great. Well, continue with this thought process, continue with this prompt, continue to think about, where does my vitality need to return? And how can I use my efforts in this season, the medicine of this season, to continue to cultivate my own internal fire? So I just wanted to share again the essences for this reset. So we had 3 days that we have been working with the elements. So we had water, and so the essence of water is our self love essence. We had earth, and the one that we are working with specifically for the earth is our ori. So clarity, right? This idea that when our ori is clear, we can make clear decisions. And today we talked about fire. And so fire is vitality. It is that Shango essence. It's that idea that that nasturtium, which is one of the leading flowers in that essence, will help us to think differently and commit to bringing our fires forward. How can we continue this journey? So I thank you all for being here. Rahia said, thank you. Oh, thank you for sharing your gift of healing our community needs. Y'all, thank you so much. I'm really, really honored to share. And again, this has been we did our abundance challenge and our bloom work challenge. Those are our two transformation challenges that happened in the fall. And then this winter piece came, as everyone knows, I typically do something for the solstice. However, Spirit led me to want to do this grounding first. And part of it was because a lot of community members and clients were saying to me that they were feeling scattered and the energy this year was very different. And so, because of that, I really wanted to find a way to give back and to share the knowledge so that we all can be moving in this frequency with purpose. So, I thank you all for being here as well. We have the ability. I need all three. I know. And so we'll talk. I'll send out an email after this that allows you to kind of explore and we can talk about the different ways that you can work with the essences. Um, so, Sanctuary of She is our event that is tomorrow. It is maybe about 2.5 hours. We start again at 5 a.m. I'm really excited about it. And the reason why we called it, or why the name Sanctuary of She came to me, was because we're moving into the divine feminine. And as I've shared in our 3 days together, divine feminine is the ability to be. We honor the ability for us to conceive, not just bringing babies into the world, but bringing ideas, cultivating our families, cultivating our communities, cultivating our ideas and our purpose. And so the sanctuary of She is this idea that we are getting ready to embody all that is us within the divine feminine. And so that is the part of the day that we'll be working on. It's about 2.5 hours. We'll be doing rituals similar to this, where they're very accessible, but also really awakening our ability to align with this energy moving forward and using the energy in the portal of the solstice. And those of you who know, there are two parts. So if you are living in New York, you have the ability to also join us at a bathhouse for a water ritual. But during the day or during the morning, we will do our work here, like we have been doing with each other virtually. So if you are interested, please feel free to sign up. I will share those links. And then the other opportunity that we have is this Soul Soil Collective. So this is our opportunity to do kind of monthly check-ins with each other. This is a monthly membership space similar to what we have here, that is an ongoing ritual, that we talk about plant wisdom, that we talk about seasonal grounding practices, that we allow ourselves to reset and to find the wisdom that exists within the earth and how we continue to build those relations. It's something that is going to be available for folks. And because this, again, new creative energy that kind of came out of all of our challenges, we are going to allow for there to be an open enrollment period for this year and kind of just see how it works, because I'm not building it for myself. I'm actually co-creating it with you all. So if it's something that you want and that you need and you sign up, it's going to be, you all are going to be the way that kind of dictates the way that that collective moves. I'm really excited about it. Really, really excited about it. And so, again, these are the things that have come out of the work that we have been doing together. Natasha says, thank you for this space, time, and creativity. And Sammy says that, yes, sounds nice. We will try again next year. We will be here. And because we will be here, we will try it again. And it may be even bigger because you all are always the inspiration for it. So I want us to, again, I want to thank you all for being here. I want to thank you all for sharing your energy. Even in these spaces, virtual spaces, we are creating community. And so I thank you. So our closing blessing for today is, may your fire be warm and not rushed. May your vitality be sustainable. May your purpose move with clarity. May your fire be warm, not rushed. May your vitality be sustainable, like the fire we talk about. May your purpose move with clarity. I am grateful for this space with you all. I am grateful for those who join us in the replays. I pray that this medicine and this winter will allow for us to continue to bring forth our great purpose and our destiny in the spring. I thank you all. I'm going to pop your messages up so people can see. Morgan says, thank you. It was an awesome experience. Lisa says, thank you so much for the space. Sammy, thank you, Yabola. It was definitely healing, and it was healing on both ends for myself as well. Looking forward to Soul Soil. I am too. Ricky says, I am a bit more energized than I want this Saturday morning on vacation, heading to get some water. I have some ginger later to rekindle this flame. Understood. Mama Freya says, aw. Rukia says, Asheo, I thank you all so much. This has been so beautiful these 3 days. And congratulations for all of you who have been here. Those of you who joined us today, we did it. This is our 3-day reset. We did it. We did it. We did it. Carry this feeling, carry these rituals. You all also receive, those who signed up, you receive the deck. So you're able to go back and revisit anything that you didn't get before. Please use this information. Thank you, Sion, for being here. We are grateful in this reset. Yes, it came at the right time. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you for sharing all your energy. This is a blessing and very healing. Afia, many blessings. Thank you all so much. So continue, have an amazing Saturday, an amazing new moon in Sagittarius. And for those of you who are joining us for the Sanctuary of She tomorrow, I will see you tomorrow, either in the morning or in the evening. But if not, I wish everybody a happy solstice.